Hello and welcome. Today, we're not just going to go through a boring biology lesson. Nope. We're actually unlocking a guide to this powerful, built-in, intelligent system that, let's be honest, many of us were taught to just ignore or even dislike. We're talking about the menstrual cycle. So, let's dive right in.
And this right here, this is the golden truth that's going to frame everything we talk about today. We are going to completely shift our perspective from seeing the cycle as this annoying inconvenience to recognizing it as a source of incredible personal insight and, yes, power.
So here's the journey we're about to take. We'll kick things off by rethinking what the cycle even is. Then, we'll walk through the 4 inner phases. After that, we'll build a super practical self-care playbook, learn how to decode your body signals, and finally, wrap it all up to really understand your cycle as your power.
Okay, first things first, let's get this one fundamental idea straight. The menstrual cycle is so much more than just your period. That's just one piece of a much bigger, more complex puzzle. Think of it like a monthly hormonal rhythm that influences pretty much everything. Your energy, your focus, your skin, your emotions, the whole shebang. So the big takeaway here is your period is just one result of the cycle, it's not the whole story.
Now we get to the real core of it all, the 4 distinct phases that make up this monthly rhythm. Understanding these phases is kind of like having an internal roadmap to your own body and mind. So let's break it down, starting with phase 1.
The cycle officially begins with the menstrual phase, which, of course, you know is your period. So what's happening inside? Well, the uterine lining is shedding, and key hormones like estrogen and progesterone are at their absolute lowest point. And this connects directly to how you might feel. Tired, maybe a little more introverted, and with lower motivation. This isn't a weakness, okay? It's your body signaling that it's time to rest.
So how do you honor this need for rest? Self-care in this phase is all about replenishment and just being gentle with yourself. Think warm, comforting, iron-rich foods to restore what's being lost. Some light stretching can feel amazing for cramps, and seriously, giving yourself permission for more sleep is crucial. This is definitely not the time to be pushing for a new personal best at the gym.
After your period ends, you slide right into the follicular phase. You can think of this as your body's internal spring. Estrogen starts to rise, your body's repairing itself, and it's getting ready for what's next. You'll probably notice a real shift in your mood and your mind. Thinking gets clearer, motivation comes back online, and your focus just gets sharper.
This is the phase where you want to harness all that rising energy. It's the perfect time to kick off a new project, dive into studying, or tackle those complex problems you've been putting off. Your brain is literally primed for learning and planning. Supporting this with balanced meals and some moderate exercise will help you make the most of this awesome, productive window.
Next up is the peak of the cycle, ovulation. This is your internal summer. An egg gets released and estrogen hits its highest point. Now, biologically, your body is at its most fertile, and this often translates into feeling more confident, social, and just full of energy. You might find yourself feeling more outgoing and communicative during these few days.
To really align with this peak energy, go ahead and schedule that important meeting or have that conversation you've been putting off. Plan some fun social stuff. The self-care here is all about leveraging your natural strengths. And of course, supporting your body with plenty of protein and lots of water will help you keep that vibrant energy going.
And finally, we enter the luteal phase, which is actually the longest phase of the cycle. This is your internal autumn. Progesterone rises as the body prepares for potential pregnancy. If that doesn't happen, hormones fall, which then leads to your next period. This big hormonal shift can make you feel more emotional, sensitive, and more prone to those food cravings.
The key lesson of this phase is really to slow down and protect your boundaries. If you can, maybe reduce your workload a bit. Focus on warm, calming, magnesium-rich foods like bananas and nuts. And, most importantly, practice self-compassion. This is not the time for harsh self-criticism, it's a time for gentleness as your body winds down.
Okay, so we've walked through all 4 phases. Now, let's build a practical, cycle-long playbook for 2 huge areas that support your body through all of it: nutrition and exercise.
These 4 nutrients are like the foundation for a healthy cycle. Iron, of course, helps replenish what you lose during your period. Calcium and magnesium are so important for mood regulation and reducing cramps. And healthy fats, they're absolutely essential for hormone production. The goal isn't a perfect diet, but just consistently including these building blocks while maybe easing up on the excess junk food and sugar.
And this chart, this perfectly illustrates a core principle for movement. Your body is not the same every single day, so your workouts shouldn't be either. It's all about matching your movement to your energy.
gentle walking during your period, building some strength in the follicular phase, going for it with high-energy workouts around ovulation, and then winding down with yoga in the luteal phase. See? It's about working with your body, not fighting against it. Now, let's become detectives. Your body is sending you signals all the time, but we often don't know how to translate them. This section is all about turning that confusion into clarity by learning to decode two key things: PMS and what your period itself is trying to tell you.
This is such a crucial distinction. The hormonal shifts in your cycle are powerful, so it's completely normal for your moods to shift with them. That sudden urge to cry? That's not weakness. It's a totally valid biological release. And that flash of anger or irritation? It's an emotion, not some permanent character flaw. Just recognizing this is part of understanding your rhythm. But, and this is really key, there's a difference between a rhythm and an alarm bell. Severe, debilitating pain that stops you from living your life, persistent feelings of depression that go way beyond a bad mood, or if your periods become extremely irregular or just stop, those are alarm bells. That's your body's signal that it's time to go see a doctor.
Think of this chart as a simple little diagnostic tool you can use every single month. The color of your period blood can give you real clues about your health. Bright red, kind of like cranberry juice, usually means a fresh, healthy flow. If you see dark red or brown, don't worry, that's typically just older blood that's had time to oxidize, which is perfectly normal, especially at the beginning or end of your period. Now, on the other hand, a very pale, pinkish color might be a sign that your iron levels are a little low. And if you're consistently passing very heavy clots, that's a signal from your body that it's probably worth checking in with a doctor just to understand why.
We've covered the science, and we've covered the self-care. Now for the final and maybe most important step of this whole journey, taking this knowledge and using it to break free from old, harmful myths and step into a place of true personal power and inner wisdom.
Let's just tear these myths down, one by one. The idea that periods are impure is just plain wrong. A regular cycle is a vital sign of good health. The belief that we're weak during our period? False. Our bodies are intelligently signaling a need for rest. And the dangerous myth that debilitating pain is just something you have to put up with? Absolutely not. Listening to that pain and practicing self-care is a profound act of strength.
And this is really what it all comes down to. This isn't just about managing symptoms. Learning the rhythm of your cycle, when to push, when to rest, when to be social, when to turn inward, is a powerful tool for profound self-understanding and, honestly, self-respect. So I'll leave you with this one question. Now that you have the roadmap, the next step is just to listen. Pay attention to your energy, your emotions, your cravings. Your body is communicating with you every single day. So, what is it trying to tell you?